woman is even dumber than I thought. It must be because she has nothing else to do. This week, my favorite ex-politician, Hillary Clinton, put out this tweet. Quote, I say this as a former Secretary of State and as an American. The Russians are still coming. Our intelligence professionals are imploring Trump to act. Will he continue to ignore and surrender or protect our country? Say what? Hillary, the Russians are still coming? You're kidding, right? Did you fall asleep during this movie?
You see, that is how we got to America.
The Russians have landed.
This whole danged island's under attack by Russia.
The Russians have captured the airport.
It's all over. It's all over. We haven't got a chance. Not a chance.
Fire until you see the light. Get out of the way. It's Agnes drill.
Those crazy Americans, all we wanted was both to pull our submarine off the reef and go home.
And Hillary, our intelligence professionals are imploring Trump to act? Where'd you get that from? You don't even have a security clearance. Not that it mattered when you did have one. And by the way, if you're talking about NSA Director Mike Rogers, he testified this week that our government was taking steps to combat Russian interference, but probably not enough, which is a hell of a lot better than opening up your emails like an orchid like you did to every hacker out there. And when Mueller indicted 13 Russians for interfering in the 2016 election, a lot of the cases went back to 2014. And Obama simply failed to act, thinking as long as it benefited you, Hillary, why interfere? And if you're worried about Putin bragging about Russia's military might against the U.S., keep in mind, Hillary, Putin's running for office. He's going to say whatever he thinks is necessary to win. No one should understand that better than you. Remember?
To just be grossly generalistic, you could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right? The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it. And unfortunately, there are people like that. And he has lifted them up.
And by the way, Putin himself wasn't much too happy with you when you interfered in his election. You and the Democrats have used Russia as an excuse for not winning. The Russians are fed up with us, so Putin unites his country by going after the common enemy. Hillary, who do you think you're kidding? You're the one who did the reset button with Russia. You wanted to make pals with them. And your comrade in arms, Barack Obama, had his famous off-mic moment with Medvedev.
This is my last election. Yeah. After my election, I have more flexibility. Yeah.
I understand. I transmit this information to Vladimir.
The Russians had more access to our elections when you were in power, and your buddy Obama, when it came out that he knew about the hacking and the possible impact on the election, when he was in a position to do something about it, by the way, he says he told Putin to cut it out. And when the Russians hacked the DNC's emails, including yours, exposing you as the two-faced liar that you are, you wouldn't even cooperate with the FBI's investigation. And Hillary, you ask if Trump will continue to ignore and surrender? Honey, ignoring and surrendering was when you and Bill sold 20% of our natural resource uranium to the Russians with a payback of $145 million to your foundation and $500,000 cash in your hubby's pocket. You surrendered one of our most important natural resources used to make Molly 99, the essential element in nuclear medicine used to diagnose and treat 45 million people a year. And you want to criticize Donald Trump? Unlike you and Bill, Donald Trump can't be bought. And you ask, will the president protect our country? He's not like your philandering husband who gave billions to Kim Jong-un's father to not build a nuclear weapon. That worked out really well now, didn't it? Donald Trump is the only president with the guts to not only send the mother of all bombs into Afghanistan, to strike chemical weapon plants in Syria with surgical precision, but also go toe-to-toe with Kim Jong-un to the point where that wackadoo has become a laughing stock. And unlike Obama, who reduced our military every chance he could, Donald Trump has committed $700 billion to rebuild our armed forces so that he can protect the country that your husband and your comrade Barack made more vulnerable. So if you're so convinced the Russians are still coming, why didn't you do something about it when you were in office instead of being the cash receptacle for every corrupt Russian looking to bribe you and make money in this country? Hillary, it's got to be tough being you. You used all the money you illegally took from foreign powers to create a false dossier against Donald Trump. You got fed debate questions, deleted 33,000 emails, and yet you still lost to someone you say isn't fit to be president. I got an idea, honey. Since you're so good at selling uranium to foreigners and our enemies, maybe you can buddy up with your Clinton Foundation friends to sell the rest of our uranium to the Russians. On second thought, just get back into the woods. And that's my open. Tell me what you think on my Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram, hashtag Judge Jeanie. Hello and welcome to Justice. I'm Judge Jeanie Pirro. Thanks for being with us tonight. You know, you can't trust her. You can't believe her. So why even think about voting for the woman? There is no candidate in recent history for president or any other major office who has skirted the law, pushed the legal envelope, or been under investigation as much as Hillary Rodham Clinton. The latest yesterday, 2 inspectors general informed Congress that emails from her private server contained classified information. And the fear is there could be hundreds more. But wait, Hillary, you said you never did that.
I did not email any classified material to anyone on my email. There is no classified material. So I'm certainly well aware of the classification requirements.
Okay, you say you know what the classified information is. If so, you knew at the time it was classified information that you were sending on your private server. If you knew, then you didn't need a technocrat at the State Department to tell you what a classified document is. You already knew. And if so, you must also know that it's our property, not yours. Our secrets, not yours to play with, profit from, or leverage to line you and your family's pockets. But you already knew that, didn't you, Hillary? Curiously, your confidant, Uma Abedin, used the same personal email supported by that same server. Now, Hillary, one might be inclined to think that she was someone who, like you, understood the necessity of hiding certain information. But all doubt is removed when we find out that you went the extra mile to have Uma employed by the State Department and the Clinton Foundation, as well as another Clinton-connected company. This has never been done in State Department history. So, Hillary, why go through so many hoops? The White House told you you couldn't hire Sidney Blumenthal, but because you consider yourself above everyone else, you put Sidney on the Clinton Foundation payroll and emailed him about security issues at a time when he represented interests that would benefit from the fall of Gaddafi in Libya. Those emails were actually hacked by another group. So much for the secure private server argument. And to top it off, you didn't turn those emails over. We find out about them when Blumenthal hands them over pursuant to a subpoena. Hillary, you just hid and deleted our emails. You were conducting the people's business in a manner that prevented anyone from knowing about it. And if that is an intent to hide secrets, deceive, and defraud the American public, I don't know what is. So why? Were you afraid that people might find out the reason for your shifts in policy decisions? Or were donations to the Clinton Foundation connected to the sale of arms around the world that doubled when you were Secretary of State, especially to those governments that gave millions to the Clinton Foundation? One in particular, Algeria, you took money from them after saying you wouldn't, and then conveniently forgot to disclose it on your Clinton Foundation disclosure. Hillary, there's a reason no one trusts you or believes you. Every time you open your mouth, a falsehood comes out. Like this.
I have said repeatedly that I will answer questions before the House committee. We are all accountable to the American people to get the facts right.
You know, you say you're going to answer all questions and be held accountable. Is this how you do it? Roping off the press and their questions from even talking to you at a parade? Hillary, you've jeopardized this nation and the good and decent people who live in it for your own personal aggrandizement, for your personal wealth, building an empire for you and your family under the guise of a foundation.